Actually, can you write to that, okay?
Red.
Yeah.
Hey, what's happening? I mean, what's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's time for the Middleboro Weekend Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news, Middleboro news, here on AM 1530 WVBS. Hey, Joey, what's happening?
And welcome to Middleboro in Review. I am Joey Driscoll, joined by Don this morning. Good morning, Don. How are you?
Good morning, Joey.
Good.
How you doing?
Everything is great this morning on the
Good.
final Sunday of the month of January.
Yes.
1 month down already. Wow.
January went down pretty quick. Yes.
Wow. All right, our weather. Let's get our weather up here. Here we go. Let's start with Driscoll, Texas. 65 degrees. A high of, looks like a high of 76 today with a low of 64. Cloudy skies tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Rain in the forecast. Pretty nice weather. Tomorrow, 61 degrees in Driscoll, Texas, but rain is forecasted over the next couple of days as well. Driscoll, North Dakota, 8 degrees with a high of 28 and a low of 6. Clear skies tomorrow, high of 35 and a low of 24 in Driscoll, North Dakota. And then about 30 degrees right now. It's much warmer than it has been over the past couple of days. Less wind too.
You might see some melting today.
Yes, 40 today, so you definitely will see some melting today if the sun comes out.
Well, the thing,
It's supposed to be cloudy.
well, it melts and then it freezes again. So you'll have like new areas. Like if you clean your walkway or your driveway, you know where it's clear, you know where it's dry. Now when the snow, the ice melts, now you're gonna have other pockets of ice later. So you just gotta be aware of that, I think. Especially our driveway, we got a sloped driveway, so we gotta be careful.
Exactly. So, 18 degrees tonight. Clear, cloudy skies today. Clear tomorrow, 37 for the high, 30 for the low in Middleboro and in Taunton, Massachusetts. 29 degrees, cloudy skies. Today is a high of 40, a low of 18. Tomorrow, 36 for the high, 29 for the low, and clear skies in Taunton. Our today in history. Let's get that up here. Today is January the 26th, 2025. So here is our today in histories for January 26th. Happy birthday to Michigan. Michigan is admitted as the 26th state of the United States on this day, 1837, Don.
Wow.
Yeah, the great state of Michigan. 1841, Gordon Bremer takes formal possession of Hong Kong, what is now Possession Point, establishing British Hong Kong. And of course, it stays in British hands
What year was
until
What year was that?
1997.
What year was that? What do you think?
1841.
1841.
Yeah.
It stayed in. Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, there's several great movies about Hong Kong.
Well, it was Hong Kong, and then later on it was Macau.
Mhm.
It was 1997 for Hong Kong, and then Macau I think was 99, which was Portuguese possession.
Yes. So okay, we have 1863 during the American Civil War. Governor of Massachusetts at the time, John Alvin Andrew, receives permission from the Secretary of War to raise a militia organization for men of African descent. 1870, during the Reconstruction era, Virginia is readmitted to the Union. 1915, the Rocky Mountain National Park is established by an act of the U.S. Congress. 1942, the first United States forces arrive in Europe, landing in Northern Ireland. 1945, during World War II, Audie Murphy displays valor and bravery in action, for which he will later be awarded the Medal of Honor. Birthdays on this day: 1866, John Caddy, American golfer. I believe
John Caddy?
John Caddy. I believe he is from Boston. Let me take a quick look at that.
What year is that?
Maybe not.
What year?
1866 he was born.
That's where they got the name Caddy. Caddy, you know what I mean? Must have come from his. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So he competed in the 1904 Summer Olympics. He was the grandson of John Deere.
No kidding.
Yep. Great grandson of Linus Yale Sr. So pretty big names there as part of his family. 1880, Douglas MacArthur, American General and Medal of Honor recipient, born on this day in 1880. Born on this day, we'll get back to that. There's some of these that are not in order, so we'll go back to that to this one. But we have 1905, Maria von Trapp, Austrian-American singer. 1917, Louis Zamperini, American runner and captain. It's a great movie. There's several great movies, actually. It's a series.
Yeah, you were telling me about those movies.
Unbroken.
Yeah, right.
Great series.
Yeah.
1925, Paul Newman, American actor.
Right. I love Paul Newman.
Activist, director, race car driver, and businessman. He also co-founded Newman's Own.
Yeah, that was big at McDonald's.
Yes, it was.
And one of my favorite movies. I mean, he's done a lot of great movies, but I believe this was the last movie with Jessica Tandy. Is Nobody's Fool. Beautiful movie. It's such a heartfelt movie. I watch it a lot. It's such a nice movie about small town life, and Jessica Tandy was awesome.
1934, Huey Piano Smith, American pianist and songwriter. Born on this day in 1934. Born on this day in 1955. Eddie Van Halen, Dutch-American guitarist, songwriter, and producer. Of course, well known for being the guitarist of Van Halen as well, and also being the guitarist for the music video Bad as well. He was the guitarist for that as well, with Michael Jackson's Bad. 1957, Road Warrior Hawk, American wrestler. 1961, Wayne Gretzky, Canadian ice hockey player and coach. You met him actually, Don.
I
briefly.
did. It's funny. The story about that. I worked at a hotel in Boston, and I was a security officer, and I was guarding the second floor of this the hotel. They always put someone on the second floor, and a lot of teams would stay at this particular hotel in Boston. And some gentleman walked up to me, and he was asking me about the subway systems, and I love trains. So I gave him like a 15-minute spiel about the red line, green line, everything I knew. And we're talking, and it was a great conversation. He leaves, and then like half the bell stand comes up and runs to me and says, "What'd he say?" It's like, "Who?" "Wayne Gretzky." "Oh, I don't know. We're talking about the team. You know what I mean? We're talking about subway lines. Did he ask me anything about hockey? I didn't even know who the guy was." So we had a great conversation because I wasn't a fan. I was able to. This guy, like, okay, I don't think he knows who I am because he's not like starstruck and looking at me, and asking for autographs and stuff like that. I really didn't. I mean, I didn't follow sports. So I didn't know I didn't know who half these people were. You had NBA players walking by. You had baseball players coming by. I didn't know half of them. I did not know half because I didn't follow sports. You'd know, but I didn't. So that was a great story, and I think he enjoyed it was like a good 15-minute conversation. It was a good conversation because I didn't know him. We talked about something he wanted to talk about. So he said, "I'm going to go ride the red line." I said, "Yeah, go to Braintree, right? Ride the our life is the tunnel." He said, "We're talking about everything." So, and he was interested because I think he was interested in transit agencies too. So
That's pretty interesting.
Well, people have their hidden agendas, and they have their things they really enjoy doing on the side. His business is hockey.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to talk about hockey all the time because it's like.
Of course, yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, that was a good story.
1965, Kevin McCarthy, born on this day. American politician, the 55th Speaker of the United States House of Representatives. 1977, Vince Carter, American basketball player. Very, very good basketball player as well. And finally, 1992, for birthdays here, 1992, Sasha Banks, or Mercedes Moné as she's known now. She was known as Sasha Banks in WWE. She's outside of WWE now, known as Mercedes Moné. Amazing women's wrestler for the company. Kind of one of the biggest wrestlers in modern day WWE when it comes to the women's division. Sasha Banks, really, really great wrestler. She is 33 today. All right, passings.
Oh, passings, okay.
Passings now. We have 1932, William Wrigley Jr., American businessman, founded Wrigley Company.
Wrigley Company, like Wrigley chewing gum.
I believe so.
Yeah.
1979, Nelson Rockefeller, American businessman and politician. He was the 41st Vice President of the United States of America, Don.
Story behind that, he wasn't sworn in until December of 74. It's funny, so we didn't have a vice president between August of 74 and, so that's a while ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the Speaker of the House would have been the next in line if there was a problem with Ford, but that's since, you know, back in the 1800s when we first started, when a president died, they didn't for a long time, they didn't put a vice president back in.
Yeah.
For a while, until they changed the law.
January 26th, 2020, 9 people passed away. Kobe Bryant, Gianna Bryant, John Antebelli, and several others passed away after a plane crash.
Helicopter
Crash in California.
Yeah, that was so sad hearing that.
Yeah.
I think they were taking these little girls to a basketball
Yes,
tournament.
they were taking Gianna to a basketball tournament.
Yeah, they were so sad. That was really sad hearing that.
And I have 3 names down here, but there were, I believe, 9 in total that passed in that helicopter crash. All right, that is our Today in Histories today. Before we get to our first commercial break, Don, what do you got?
I got good morning, Don. Have a great show. Give us a transportation topic, Paul.
We will try to do that today.
So we got Love Note 375. Paul Laz. All right, he listens every day. He leaves us notes. He's a great guy. He's a good friend of ours, and he has Cranberry Country Journal on WVBF at 10 a.m. on Saturdays. So if you listen to us, listen to Paul. He's just, we go on his show, and the way he introduces us makes us feel so special. He's just been doing it so long,
Yeah.
and he's a great friend, and he leaves us these little love notes, and it's cool to get them. Joey has it over there, but I think I appreciate it more than he does. Thank you, Paul, for the note.
Thank you, Paul. All right, 7:20 a.m. Let's take our first commercial break right now. When we come back, we're going to do our music recommendation. And then the second half of the show, we'll do our transportation topic. I think we'll do a little sports today and some local events as well that are coming up.
Well, we got some playoff games today, right?
We have some playoff games today. Yes, we do. So we'll talk about those briefly as well. So that's coming up all here on Middleboro in Review on the final Sunday of January. Open phone lines today, 508-822-1106 if you want to call in. And we'll be right back here on WVBF 1530 AM, 99.7 FM.
Yeah, I remember when I heard that news. I was so sad about that. It was 9 people.
Yeah, 9 people.
Half his family got wiped out. His wife wasn't with him, was it?
No, his wife was not with him.
Was it all the kids or just one?
It was just one kid.
Yeah. Kobe,
Gianna,
a couple friends of hers.
John Antebelli, which was also, I forget what he was in relation to.
Yeah, and another couple little girls for friends.
For friends, too.
Yeah,
Exactly.
2 of them, yeah. Too bad.
Okay.
Helicopters don't go, when they crash, they kill everybody. It's terrible.
In Massachusetts offers the highest quality collision repair and complete auto service for your car.
We are a direct repair shop
where's my
for all
wallet?
major insurance companies.
There it is.
And 508-583-1495. They're open Monday to Thursday, 8 to 5, and 8 to 4 on Fridays. Call them today. You will not be disappointed. 508-583-1495.
Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association
Yeah, my
is an association of combat veterans
Get
from
my
all
stuff
regions
together
of the
here.
United States Armed Forces
It's stuff
who ride motorcycles as a hobby. Our mission is to support those who have defended our country in freedoms. Our focus is to help veteran care facilities provide a warm meal, clothing, shelter, and guidance, or simply to say thank you and welcome home. We have members from nearly all 50 states and living abroad. Many members continue to serve in our armed forces, with several serving in combat areas now. We sponsor and or participate in many motorcycle-related charity events each year, and as a non-profit organization, donate to various veteran care facilities and veteran charities. To learn more about the Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association and how you can join or support, please visit cbma2-2.org.
And we're back. They turned down the bumper music. There we go. 7:24 a.m. All right, our music recommendation segment. We're gonna do that today. We haven't done that in a while, but we got two songs that are very different from each other, but are very good songs, and we're gonna do those for our music recommendations here today. So first one we got is December 1963, Oh What a Night by Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. And a little bit about this song, written by original Four Seasons keyboard player Bob Giardo, I believe that's how you say his name, and his wife Judy Parker. Produced by Giardo and included on the group's album in 1975, Who Loves You? The B-side for this track is Slip Away. Released in December of 1975, recorded in November of 1975 in Hollywood at the Sound Factory. There are two versions of this song. The album version, which is 3 minutes and 36 seconds long. The single version, which is 3 minutes and 20 seconds long. So
It's funny,
what's the difference there?
they're singing about events from 12 years ago, December 63.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Label is Warner Brothers, but the song features Jerry Pelosi on lead vocals, Frankie Valli on vocals as well,
Yeah.
singing the bridge sections, and the backing vocals and the bass player Don Cicerone
It's
singing the falsetto.
It's funny too because Frankie Valli, but it's great that he relies on a lot of his bands for backup and jumping back and forth with him and these different varieties of voices, which I think is great. You said Pelosi, the drummer. He's a drummer too.
Yes.
So if you look at the video, is a lot of fun to watch. So if you look at the video, he starts out with the beat. You know, we all know that. Everyone knows that song knows the drum beat, the start of that song, and then he starts, and then Frankie Valli only does pretty much like you said, bridge sections. You know.
Yeah.
And then the bass player comes in. So it's a nice hodgepodge of different voices and back and forth. And I like that idea because sometimes stars can be like they want the microphone, like they want to hog the microphone. They don't want to hand it to anybody. And when you have bands that have robust backups and different sounds and different oohs and ahs and stuff like that, I really think that's great. That's something I always look forward, and a song I grew up with. And we listened to it this morning. It's always a great song. And the three singers all have different voice tones too. I mean, their voices are all different. So some are low high, some are low. We all know Frankie Valli's voice. Everyone could identify with that. So it's like a less is more, and it's a collaboration between the three singers. So there's another song. It's called "Crazy" by the John Hall Band. Everyone mistakes him for Darrell Hall, but it's John Hall. He was a founding member of Orleans. And he was a congressman for a while, too, in the 90s. Two-term congressman. I believe he was a two-term congressman up in the Beacon, New York area, which, now they call him a congressman, which is pretty cool. But there was that one song, it was big on MTV, and there was three voices on that. There was a bass player, there was a keyboard player, the guy with the funny glasses, who I thought was John Hall, but he wasn't. John Hall was the guitarist. And it's funny, too, because my band did that song, and my guitarist is an excellent guitarist. His name's Dave. And he says, there's a lot going on with that. It's a guitar solo, a lot going on with that. And it's great because it's an upbeat love song. It's nothing, it's nothing mean about it. It's just, falling in love, you know what I mean? Crazy. I mean, it's just, the message, too, is so great too, because they don't talk about destruction, they don't talk about anything like that. They just talk about love, and it's an upbeat love song. And when I used to perform it, I used to have it was a lot of fun. The song. So the whole idea of three different players coming back and forth is really exciting to me. I think.
All right.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
All right. 7:30. Let's take our news break, and then when we come back, we'll have the second half of our music recommendation segment, Blue Murders, Valley of the Kings. Or actually, we're going to mostly talk about the album itself.
Well, you got to talk about who
I'm
played.
going to talk about who played on the album. I'm going to talk about the song as well briefly, and pretty much the album itself, the debut album, which is an amazing album.
That was the debut album?
Yeah, the debut album. All right, we'll do that after this news break coming up from Town Hall News, the Salem Radio News Network.
They're accepting from the Gaza Strip. That's been moving out enough of the population to, quote, clean out the area and create a virtual clean slate. He told reporters aboard Air Force One yesterday he discussed his vision on a phone call with King Abdullah of Jordan and would speak today with Egypt's president about it. The president is also heaping blame on OPEC for the ongoing Ukraine-Russia war. We get more on that from White House correspondent Greg Clugston.
During a speech to leaders at a global summit, the president said the OPEC Plus alliance of oil exporting countries has kept the price of oil too high.
If the price came down, the Russia-Ukraine war would end immediately.
Oil sales are the economic engine driving Moscow's economy. The president said he hopes to meet with Russia's Vladimir Putin soon and get that war ended. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Pete Hegseth was sworn in as defense secretary yesterday, less than 12 hours after his narrow Senate confirmation that took place late on Friday night.
Hegseth now takes on the role of helping fulfill President Trump's vision of making America strong again. The decorated war veteran.
I can't wait to listen to the Federal Railroad Administration pick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this guy's name's David Fink.
Okay.
He was Was he the CEO of Pan Am Railways? He said something to do with Pan Am Railways.
Oh, okay, right.
County crews spent most of the past week removing vegetation, shoring up slopes, and also reinforcing.
Telsey and
That's his pick. That's his pick.
Telsey and RFK next week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that's his pick for FRA.
Yeah.
David Fink. Sean Duffy. I don't know when his confirmation hearing
What's he
is.
for?
It already happened. He's going to be transportation secretary.
Okay. We got Telsey and RFK next week too, right?
Oh, that's going to be great. That's going to
I'll take it close. That's gonna be a tiebreaker too.
be.
Let it be.
Tulsi, yeah. Tulsi, yeah. I don't know about RFK. I think RFK will get
Well,
it.
there's no reason why Mikowski and Collins is not gonna vote for her.
Yeah, well,
You know?
I think
No.
RFK will have an easier time.
Right. Telsey too, I think. I think Telsey will be all right.
I think both of them will be all right.
I think Mikowski and Susan Collins just didn't like the idea of all the allegations with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there were more that popped up as well.
Yeah. Yeah. They squeaked
I
by.
don't know.
Yeah.
He squeaked by.
That's a lot of luggage
got
to
lucky.
have to get a position like
No,
that,
he,
but
he got lucky.
He fought. He fought
starting,
for it. He you know.
but he
fought.
got lucky.
And I remember when Trump went to California, he says, well, he's a good man, you know. Let's hope he makes it.
So-
If he didn't make
hope
it,
he's
he'll
okay,
just,
you know?
yeah, whatever. If he doesn't make it, I'll get someone else.
Exactly.
Go fight it out. That's what he's saying.
No,
Go
exactly.
fight
No.
it. Go scrap.
Exactly.
He's a soldier. He scraps.
That's important.
Yeah. I don't know. That's what soldiers do, I think. You know what I mean? A lot of them. You know, when they
Similar things. Yale was earlier impeached and arrested over
All right.
a law decree. No immediate comment from the
90
president.
seconds.
Congo has severed diplomatic ties with Rwanda as fighting between Rwandan-backed rebels and government forces rages around the key eastern city of Goma.
So this song there, December '63,
Yeah.
that almost was December 5th, 1933. That almost the name of the song. They almost wrote it about prohibition.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I guess some of the band members were like, no, we're not gonna do that. So they changed it to December of '63.
Will the lyrics gonna be the same? Or
The lyrics are gonna be different. The
Oh.
lyrics are gonna be goofy, and
yeah.
that's why they pushed back on it,
Yeah.
because it was gonna be too goofy.
I think the closest song about prohibition is the day the Chicago died.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
I'm not sure who does that, but
That was
I know Paul would know. Paul's listening. He can tell you in 20 seconds.
Paul.
Paul, if you're listening, who did that song the day Chicago died? And we're not going to cheat. Look at our phones. Paper Lace?
Paper Lace. Yeah. Paper Lace.
Is it?
I think so. Sounds familiar. Paper Lace. Yeah, I think it's Paper
Any
Lace.
comments on the face? Oh, you can't even see. You can't.
No.
You can't even.
There's none. I can see. There's none.
What do you got? A mirror there?
There's none.
Look at your rearview mirror for your thing. Go to the junkyard and pull it off.
Rearview
the car.
mirror.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good Pro Jam song. Rearview Mirror.
Oh boy.
All right. All right. Let's go. Start this back up. All right. Let's get going. 3, 2, 1, and 0. And we are back here on Hometown Talk.
Hometown talk.
Hometown Talk.
Review.
Hometown Talk.
Matters.
Yeah, exactly. No.
What else? What other shows have you done this week?
Oh boy.
Oh,
Middleboro.
wait. Before you move, because you just cornered yourself. You did Hometown Talk on Friday.
I did. Yes.
And you had Chachi LaPret on. I want to talk to you about that interview. It was a great interview.
Thank you.
Now tell the audience about what's Chachi LaPret is getting going into the New England Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So let me get that article up here.
You know.
Yeah. Let me get that article up.
That was a great interview.
So this is not Hometown Talk, by the way. This is Middleboro in Review.
Yeah, I gotta put a note around you. But you're doing so many shows.
I have like so many shows now.
Well, you're filling it for Tony, and you're filling it for this guy, and because Tony's in Florida, and Tony hopefully be back in April with his hometown talk and coffee with Tony, and
Yeah. So
You know.
we have the
so,
what is it? Let's see. The New England Music Hall of Fame, and that is a ceremony that will take place Saturday, February 15th, at the Vault, 791 Purchase Street in New Bedford. You need to get tickets on Facebook. I'm assuming
you said the 15th,
the Vault Facebook page. What?
February 15th.
February 15th. Yep.
Right. That's good. That's a great honor. And Aaron Chachi again. I was surprised because he didn't tell me he was on. I knew he had. I knew you had select board member Thomas White from Middleboro on
Yes.
the first hour, and he talked about a lot of the trees,
Remember Streets.
the number trees, which I think he talked about that a couple years ago, and it was happening in Wareham, and he was big on that,
Yes.
and I guess he got it going for Middleboro.
Yes, he did.
So he's probably big behind that. He's probably had a lot to do with pushing that, because I remember in 2023 when you had him on, I think it was like fall. He talked about that. He talked about how Wareham did that, so that was a pretty interesting thing. And Middleboro has such a beautiful town hall common area that it's just, and just Middleboro itself, around the town itself is just so historical and beautiful that
Yes.
it's got so much you can do with that. So so Hometown Talk last Friday was a great show, but this is Middleboro in Review, Joey.
I know
Okay,
this.
you know what? Press calling. You say, Joey, the program today.
Well,
Oh, that was so
now
fun.
I have 4 shows.
Oh, I tell you, what do you
I had 5 for a brief time. For a brief time in the beginning of the month. So yeah.
What was the other? Oh, you
Well,
did
I
the
did
notes.
Tuesdays until Ron took it.
And then you did the news last Monday.
Yes.
On MLK Day. So yeah.
All right.
Well, hey, I'm proud of you, dude. You're doing good here. I mean, I enjoy it. The show Friday was really good, and you had a few people call, and so that's good.
All right, sports. We're gonna do this real quick. Sports. NFC and AFC championships today. The first one, AFC, is the NFC. That starts on Fox at 3 p.m. That is the Commanders and the Eagles. That's going to be a good one. That is a division matchup between 2 NFC East teams. I love this matchup. I think this is a great matchup. It's really a toss-up as to who wins this one, I think, in my opinion. Eagles and the Commanders are very, very good teams, and this is going to be a really good matchup. So we'll see what happens here. I think the Eagles will win this one. Unfortunately for Commanders fans, I think Eagles will win this one. Here, in the AFC Championship game, 6:30 p.m. on CBS, the Bills will take on the Chiefs. I guess we gotta hope that the Chiefs kind of regress to what they've been doing in the regular season, which is not great football, but still, they ended up 15-2. Or was it 15-2 or no, 15-2? They ended up 15-2 on the year in the regular season, even though they didn't really play great football for a good portion of the year. They still ended up 15-2. I don't know. The Chiefs they're just really good, and I feel like the Chiefs win this game. Unfortunately, I think the Chiefs win this game, and it's going to be Chiefs and Eagles in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks' time. Speaking of the Super Bowl, well, before we get there, next Sunday, Chuck Hart will be joining us. We're talking with Chuck Hart next week. And then the week after that, Super Bowl Sunday, will be Danny Harmon once again.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, Danny Harmon will be in. Not in. He'll be calling in. There we go. He'll be calling in.
Will be the 4th or the 5th one?
The
The first one was with Brady.
I think it's the 4th one. Maybe, I'm not
5th.
sure. Maybe?
When did the Buccaneers one with Brady? 21?
20.
20?
20. Yeah.
So this would be this would be year 5.
5, yep. All right.
Wow.
Awesome. Okay, well, we have that coming up in 2 weeks, and then sure there's some other guests coming up as well over the next couple of weeks here on Middleboro in Review, and yeah, stay tuned as well for Middleboro Matters. Next Monday we'll have a guest, Eric Dunn, so we'll have him on, and yeah, that's what's coming up for my shows here in the future. Alright, so that is pretty much the sports, so we're going to move on from that. There we go. Some events going on. Let's get to some events. We have the Colonial Road Runners Winter Fun Run, Sunday, January 26th, today, this afternoon, 12 to 1 p.m. in Abington, located at 215 Central Street. Get active and join local runners. Registration is within the community room at the Abington Police Department, starting at 11:30 a.m. And I'm sinking here in my chair. Let me fix that. There we go. 11:30 a.m. This morning. The distance is 2 miles or 4 miles. 2 miles is 1 loop. 4 miles is 2 loops. That's your choice as to which one you want to do. The cost is $2 per week. Bridgewater. Okay, the rest of these have already passed, so let's ignore that and go to the next one. We have Freight Farms, fresh produce grown and harvested by the Boys and Girls Club of the community for the community of Taunton. The next one of these events, there was one that was held 2 weeks ago. There was one that's going to be held on Tuesday at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Lee Terrace and 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. at James Thomas. Again, this is open to all Taunton residents over the age of 60. No registration required. We have later on today Crow Pasture, the Cape Cod-based duo of Monique Byrne and Andy Rowoven will perform at the Town Hall at 2 p.m. Today. The event is part of the Music That Moves Sunday concert series, which is living up to its name and relocating to the Middleboro Town Hall at 10 Dixon Avenue for future concerts. 2-time New England Roots Act of the Year nominees and the winner of the International Acoustic Music Awards Best Country Bluegrass Song in 2024, Crow's Pasture are known for powerful and moving songs that connect with listeners at every stage of life. This concert is funded by the support of with support from the Massachusetts Cultural Council. Admission is free. Refreshments will be available for purchase, with all proceeds being used to strengthen the Friends of the Middleborough Public Library's mission to support community engagement. The New England Power Company, also known as National Grid, and the Taunton Municipal Lighting Plant, invite you to join the TNLP County Street Substation Project team at an in-person meeting. An in-person open house, not meeting. I apologize there. It's an open house at the Taunton Public Library, which is located at 12 Pleasant Street. It's this Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. This open house will provide information about the project and answer questions from the community. No formal presentation will be presented, so feel free to drop by anytime between 5:30 and 7 p.m. European Portuguese interpretation services will be provided by the project team at the Taunton Public Library. More information can be obtained by reaching out to Bethany Rocha at nationalgrid.com or by calling 781-236-6286. That's 781-236-6286. All right, 7:46 a.m. Let's take our last commercial break right now. When we come back, we'll have our transportation topic and then the second half of our music recommendation as well today. And your phone calls here in the last segment as well, 508-822-1106. If you want to call in and talk about whatever is on your mind this morning, here on a cool Sunday morning, on the last Sunday in January. Anyway, let's take our last grocery break right now. We'll be right back here on Middleboro Review on WBBA 1530 AM, 99.7 FM. 163. Try that again.
St. Vincent de Paul of the Sacred Heart Church in Middleboro serves the residents of the towns of Middleboro, Lakeville, Carver, and Rochester. Our base of operations is in the lower level of the parish hall on Oak Street, directly across the street from the Sacred Heart Church
Who's this,
in
Joey?
Middleboro.
Who's this?
At this time, we visit approximately 500.
That is Zuckerberg.
Yeah, but who's that?
Various types of aid.
Who's the other person?
That was-
They include
I don't know.
He doesn't really say on the phone.
rent assistance, agency referrals, clothing and furniture vouchers,
It looks like Sandra Bullock,
and lodging.
but
That'd be
I
inauguration.
don't think it is. I don't know.
Yes, we,
It looks like her, but
Middleboro.org.
Yeah, I don't know who it
May
is.
the good Lord bless you and keep you safe.
who knows?
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Grow strong. Believe it. Believe you can, and you will. Warriors provide mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Matthew Mission Food Pantry helps people with food insecurities from the hardships of life. In a few short years, they have given more than 4,000 bags of groceries to those in need. For guests with limited transportation options, they are open every Saturday morning from 9:30 to 11:30 at the north door of the First Parish Church, 76 Church Green, and are available to anyone, no questions asked. The demand increases every week. With the looming reduction in SNAP benefits, the need is growing. Please consider a donation of unexpired, non-perishable food items, grocery store gift cards, or a monetary donation via check to the Matthew Mission Food Pantry, 76 Church Green, Taunton, or by Venmo at Matthew Mission Food Pantry. The Matthew Mission Inc. is a registered 501c3 organization. Thank you.
Okay. 320. And we are back. I turned down the bumper music. There we go. Bumper music is turned down, and we're good to go. All right, 7:50 a.m. 10 minutes left in the show today. Let's do our second half of our music recommendation segment and talk about the band Blue Murder. Blue Murder. We talked a little bit about this on Friday, but I'm here with Don, and Don can expand on his thoughts a little bit more. We're talking about the first album in particular. Debut album by Blue Murder, released on April 24th, 1989 by Geffen Records. Geffen Records, when you see that logo here on your CD, when you pick it up, Geffen Records is like the seal of approval. Geffen Records is a very good record.
I mean, I think that was like late 80s in early 90s is when they really started seeing that label pop up. He did a lot of, that was you always got something good with Giffen, in my opinion. Yes.
Produced by Bob Rock, the band was formed by guitarist John Sykes after his dismissal from Whitesnake. He was eventually joined by bassist Tony Franklin and drummer Carmine Appice.
Tony Franklin was in the front
Yeah.
and played with Jimmy Page in a lot of his solo stuff.
The band entered Little Mountain Sound Studios, which is in Vancouver, in early 1988 to begin recording this album. After several unsuccessful attempts at finding a lead singer, John Sykes took up the role himself, and he is a very good singer. Having already sung the band's first demos following the record's release, Blue Murder embarked on tours supporting Bon Jovi and Billy Squier. So a little bit about the production here and who he was trying to get for vocalists. Let's see here. Let's see, where is it at? All right, here we go. The band to audition some singers here, and they did. Among them were David Glenn Isley. SpongeBob fans will know David Glenn Isley. His song, one of his songs, showed up on the episode Band Geeks. He's really good too. And Derek St. Holmes as well was auditioning for the band. Unable to agree on a front man, of course, Sykes eventually took up that role instead. Some of the people who were in this band, let's take a quick look at that. It's a who's who of legendary names. John Sykes on guitars and vocals, Tony Franklin on bass, Carmine Appice on drums, and also Tony Martin doing some writing for this particular album, and a little bit about that. 1 second here, I can get that. Where's that? All right, here we go. So Valley of the Kings. Tony Martin is a co-writer on that song. It's my favorite song on the album. I talked about that briefly on Friday. It's an amazing song. It's kind of like this Egyptian kind of rock song. It has this Egyptian feel. The lyrics, same thing. It's a really good song, Valley of the Kings. And Tony Martin has stated that he actually co-wrote a significant portion of this record with Sykes, but he was not credited other than Valley of the Kings.
That's always the way. It's sometimes you can't because of the lawyers. Sometimes you can't put somebody on. You swear you hear a bassist player that you know that was in a band, but you swear it's him, but someone else is credited. But it's like, this has got to be him. But it really depends on the contracts and what the lawyers tell you. I mean, everything's legal. Everything's all legal. As far as John Sykes himself, he passed away last weekend, and he was
his death was announced last weekend. I believe he passed away at the end of 2024.
Okay, all right. Well, he was the lead guitarist for that 1987 Whitesnake album. Still tonight, that album broke every record as far as sales for Whitesnake. That was on top of the charts, and the guitar playing was unbelievable. And then David Coverdale fires him.
Wasn't there something more to that?
No,
Did he get an injury or something?
I don't know. Egos. Especially in the '80s, all these heavy metal bands, they all got egos, and it's just they're a bunch of babies.
Wasn't there a guitarist that was in Whitesnake? I don't know if it was John Sykes. Maybe it was somebody else. He got an injury.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they fired him.
There's so many of them. I mean, you go look at Whitesnake and all the lineup changes. It's just unbelievable.
All right, that is our music recommendation. Let's go to our transportation. We have 4 minutes, so let's talk about as much as we can here. There's some repair schedule updates for the MBTA. There is now a list of closures up through June and we're going to go through some of them.
Excuse me, Joe.
Yes.
Just a note here.
Yeah.
They were talking about the up tracks,
Uh-huh.
but they didn't mention when they were doing that. Well, we're gonna have to do the signal systems. They wait until everything's done, and everything's we gotta. And then oh, by the way. Oh yeah. That's one thing we gotta do the signal systems now. And
So-
people are thinking, didn't you do that when you did the tracks? No, we didn't.
Team riders can expect 8-day closures on a chunk of the red line in April, 2 different sections of the orange line in May and June, and on about half of the blue line in June. But riders will see sections of multiple subway and commuter rail lines shut down on weekends in late January and February, as we're into late January now. So for the red line, the T has closed between JFK, UMass, and Braintree up until the end of the day today to upgrade the network's signal systems. So that's part of it there. The same section will be closed again for 2 weekends in February, 8th and 9th of February and 22nd and 23rd of February. The MBTA also anticipates closing the red line between Ashmont and JFK UMass from April 1st through the 9th for proactive rail maintenance. Okay, interesting. The orange line will not run between Oak Grove and North Station, roughly 8:30 p.m. on Friday, January 31st, through the rest of that weekend. The orange line will be closed in the same section 2 weekends later, beginning around 8:30 p.m. on Friday, February 14th, and continuing through President's Day, that is Monday, February 17th. The MBTA also plans to close Oak Grove to North Station section of the Orange Line from May 10th to the 18th to make way for work on the East Boston and Somerville Bridge project. There's several bridge projects that they're trying to do right now as well. And then from June 21st to the 29th, the agency plans to close the Orange Line from North Station to Forest Hills, and that is for signal system upgrades. The green and blue lines, real quick, portions of the green line branches will be closed on the weekend of the 22nd and 23rd of February. The B branch will be suspended between North Station and Babcock Street. On the C and D branch, the line will not run between North Station and Kenmore. On the E branch, it won't run between North Station and Heath Street. Officials also plan to close the blue line between Bowden and Airport stations. Is it Bowden or Bowden?
I think it's Bowden.
Okay, it's Bowden. Okay.
Bowden, yeah.
Bowden and Airport stations from June 7th to the 15th for unspecified infrastructure work. And that's pretty much it. We got the commuter rail lines real quick. Let's blow through these real quick. The Newburyport Rockport line will not run between North Station and Swampscott on the 1st and 2nd of February and the 15th and 16th of February on the same weekends. The Haverhill line will not run between Ballardvale and North Station. And that's pretty much it. And service shutdowns on the same sections of the commuter rail are expected March 8th and 9th, March 22nd and 23rd, April 5th and 6th, April 24th to the 27th as well. But those dates could change. They are subject to change as well. All right, that's it. It's 8 o'clock. I want to thank everyone for listening to today's program. We'll be back next week. It'll be the first Sunday in February. Chuck Hart will be in the studio with us. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody, and see you next Sunday. Me and Dawn will see you next Sunday. I will talk to you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. for Middleboro Matters. Bye-bye, everybody.
Broadcasting live from the Con Federal Credit Union Studios at 14 Church Green, we are AM 1530, WBBF, Middleboro, Taunton, and W259DD, Middleboro Center, 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
Ah, come on. Really? I don't know why it does that. That's so annoying.
What?
The news page here, when it's inactive for more than 15 minutes, it logs itself out. So you gotta log back in. It's annoying.
Can you press something to keep it in log? Or
Yeah, but you gotta remember to do it. You gotta remember to do it, and like I'm on the air, so I can't focus on like 8, 9 different things at the same time.
Sure you can.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Anyway, bye everybody.